19. Sun's Dawn, 4E216, or 5E15. Era to be determined. The rough cobblestones beneath my scaled feet told stories my eyes couldn't quite grasp. Each uneven surface, each worn smooth patch spoke of countless footsteps, of wagons laden with goods, of history etched into stone. I found myself wondering about the quarries these cobbles came from. Were they local? Imported? The geological composition could tell me so much about trade routes, about the very foundation of Wayrest's economy, but I digress. A cacophony of scents assaulted my nostrils as I navigated the morning market. Freshly baked bread from a nearby stall mingled with the pungent aroma of cheese, the yeast strain likely a local variety, adapted to High Rock's climate, while the cheese reminded me of the caves where they'd aged, cool and damp, perfect for cultivating the right bacteria. A whiff of spices from the east tickled my snout, cinnamon, cumin, saffron, momentarily transporting me to sun-baked bazaars I'd only read about in dusty tomes. The Silk Road must be thriving. "Watch where you're going, you clumsy lizard." A gruff voice snapped me back to reality as I bumped into what felt like a mountain of muscle and fur. An Orsimer merchant, judging by the guttural undertones of that accent. My apologies came out in a fumbled mix of Tem relic and broken Orcish, my forked tongue struggling with the unfamiliar consonants. A linguistic reflex born from years of academic study colliding with street-level practicality. The encounter left me pondering the complex tapestry of Wayrest's population. Orsimer in a predominantly Breton city, their presence a living testament to the ebb and flow of political boundaries. The Treaty of Orsinium must have had far-reaching consequences beyond what the history books claimed. I made a mental note to investigate further, my mind already racing ahead to the potential research methodologies. A child's laughter cut through my musings, high and clear. It echoed off the buildings, the acoustics revealing the narrow, tall structure of this particular street. Old construction, likely predating the latest architectural trends from the imperial city. The sound transported me briefly to my own hatchling days, seasons spent in the cool, damp libraries of Black Marsh, the musty scent of old parchment almost overwhelming in this moment of sensory overlap. My talons trailed along a nearby wall, the texture changing subtly. Smooth plaster gave way to exposed brick, then weathered wood. A history of renovations, of changing fortunes, of fires and rebuildings, all told through touch. I could almost feel the heat of long-extinguished flames, hear the shouts of bucket brigades desperately trying to save their homes and livelihoods. A new sound caught my attention, the rhythmic clang of blacksmith's hammer. But there was something off about it, an irregularity in the pattern that spoke of either great skill or terrible technique. Curiosity piqued, I followed the sound, my other senses heightened to compensate for my unreliable vision. The heat hit me first as I approached the forge, a wall of warmth that carried with it the acrid tang of hot metal and coal. Then came the vibrations through the ground, each strike of the hammer sending ripples through the earth, through my body. It felt like the heartbeat of the city itself. "You just gonna stand there, Scaleskin, or are you here for business?" The blacksmith's voice, as rough as her work. Yet there was a melody to it, a cadence that hinted at bardic training. How fascinating, a smith with a background in music. The implications for metallurgical techniques influenced by an understanding of harmonics and resonance were staggering. As I opened my mouth to reply, a scrap of conversation from a passing group caught my ear slits. Something about Direnni artifacts and auction at the Mages Guild. My scholarly instincts flared to life, 1,000 questions blooming in my mind. The Direnni, their magical legacy, and the potential for groundbreaking arcane discoveries all suddenly within reach. But first, I reminded myself, I needed to establish a base of operations in the city. Knowledge was power, but in Wayrest, as in any city, practical concerns couldn't be ignored. Where to sleep, where to eat, how to earn coin, all these were the immediate puzzles to solve. As I continued my exploration, each sense bringing new information, new questions, new tangents to explore, I couldn't help but feel both overwhelmed and exhilarated. Wayrest was a book written in a language of smells, sounds, and textures, and I was only beginning to learn how to read it.